In a fantasy world, a boy named Mash faces criticism due to his inability to use magic. Although he has superhuman strength, he is forced to enroll in a magic academy to become a divine visionary, which is the only way for him to protect his family. Otherwise, he has to face the punishment of execution according to the world's law. Mash takes part in a selection exam and gets a chance to prove himself to avoid execution. The anime begins with information about the divine visionaries, who are magic users. New divine visionaries are offered to join the Bureau of Magic, the supreme legal institution in the world. These divine missionaries handle the majority of tasks involving magic. They also serve as state-sanctioned forces protecting society. After defeating Magilubis, all of Lion's coins went to Adler. This brought Mash and his friends closure about becoming divine visionaries. After the Cell War, rumors of Mash's ability to use magic started spreading throughout the academy. Finn tells Mash that he, Lemon, and Dot convinced a student that Mash can use magic. They both are talking when another student comes there and asks Mash about his magic abilities. Mash tells him that he can use magic. Finn takes Mash from there, and the student tells Finn that protecting a non-magic user like Mash will make him a criminal. He says to Finn that he might be expelled if he makes a fake report. Finn gets angry and asks the student to shut his mouth. Before they argue with each other, Lance arrives there and subdues the student using his gravity magic. Lemon and Dot also come there, and Dot is severely injured. After some time, they head to Adler's dorm room for the celebration of their victory against Lang. Mash says they have to wait for the divine visionary selection. Finn is shocked to see Abel and Abyss there, and Abel has brought cards to play the game. Lemon serves the meal to everyone. Finn asks Lance what he is doing in the basement after he gets separated from their group. Lance tells him that he was caught by death row inmates after fighting a person from Lang's dorm. Finn is shocked to know that there are death row inmates in the basement. Later, Abyss tells Mash that Innocent Zero is targeting him, who is the worst crime syndicate in the magic realm. He says they are looking for people with high magical powers in this academy. Abel also vowed power after helping them out, and he also vowed his third line by artificial means. On the other hand, Abel and Finn are going to retrieve his board game. Abyss reveals that Abel gained his power to get more coins. He warns Mash to be careful because Innocent Zero is after him. Abyss thanks Mash for stopping Abel and says that he is counting on him. Mash and Abyss are talking while some students are sneaking into the dorm to find proof that Mash cannot use magic. He is peering at the dorm when Finn and Abel reach there. An owl enters the dorm and throws a letter to Mash. The next day, Mash arrives at the Bureau of Magic to discuss his crime of concealing the truth behind his inability to use magic. Mash is told that he has committed a serious crime. They tell him that God created this world to be more beautiful than anything else. Magic is a miracle bestowed by God upon humans, but Mash's existence is a threat to this miracle. Rio, another divine visionary, asks Mash to light up a candle using magic. Mash rubs his wand with great speed against the ground and creates a fire in the area. He promises Rio that he will sway people to his side with his fists. Many divine visionaries come there to stop Mash. They say Mr. Wahlberg asked them to be there. One of the divine visionaries explains why Mash must perish for his actions. Suddenly, it is revealed that the man who is leading the meeting is controlled by Innocent Zero. Innocent Zero claims that Mash belongs to them and they should hand Mash over to him. Other divine visionaries think Mash has unusual origins, but Mash refuses. Innocent Zero tells them that he has implanted a magic parasite inside the possessed man's body. A magic parasite is a strange and dangerous magical creature that feeds off mana and uses humans as a host for its larva. Magic parasite reacts to those who try to peel it off of the host, using them as the next host. Rio says this is a declaration of war against the Bureau of Magic, and he wants to end the conflict between them. He says he will remove the magic parasite from the man's body. Before he removes it, Mash takes it off and consumes it. He successfully defeats the magic parasite and saves the man. Rio is impressed by Mash and his abilities. Mash is about to leave, but one of the divine visionaries named Order reminds him that he must face the death penalty for his actions. He is about to kill Mash, but Rio stops him and tells him that he must listen to his opinion. Order says that he will obey the rules and does not listen to him. They are both arguing when Wahlberg comes with Rain. Order asks Mr. Wahlberg why he called for all of them. He also tries to convince Mr. Wahlberg that Mash should be punished for hiding his lack of magic ability. Mr. Wahlberg asks them to defer the penalty because Innocent Zero has sent a messenger for the first time and Mash will lead them to Innocent Zero. He says they should not lose Mash because he is important to them. Rio tells Mash that Mr. Wahlberg is a previous divine visionary who went toe-to-toe against Innocent Zero in his youth. Order refuses to accept Mr. Wahlberg's suggestion, saying that regulations exist to maintain order so they must obey them. Mr. Wahlberg removes his hat and says it is true that Mash cannot use magic, but he has a rare ability to sway people's hearts. He says that people like Mash can change their perception of the world. Their values have changed alongside history, but redefining them takes courage. Rain begs Order to accept Mr. Wahlberg's suggestion, saying that he agrees with him. Order says to Rain that emotions should not be prioritized over regulations. While the vice director comes there, he tells everyone about the heroic efforts of Mash and asks them to defer the sentence. Porter seems to agree, but he puts in some conditions, saying that Mash will act under their supervision as a pawn against Innocent Zero. Mash also has to prove himself as strong enough to fight against Innocent Zero. If he fails to do so, he will be punished to death immediately. Mash accepts all the conditions and promises to defeat Innocent Zero with his fist. Mash returns to his dorm and tells Lance and Finn about what happened. They ask Mash if he can use magic, and he says he cannot. Suggests they should go out to explore the town and have fun. They take part in hilarious Cola Dart games. Lance asks Mash to come with him to a shop because he wants to buy a new wand. He says the Divine Visionary candidate exams are near because of the Innocent Zero case. They will surely take the selection exams based on the coin count. They enter the shop and meet its owner, who gives them a lot of information regarding wands and magical prowess. Lance and Finn demonstrate their gauging processes and select their wands. Despite lacking magic, Mash tries to select a wand, and the shop owner is surprised that Mash lifts the special wand that nobody has ever lifted before. They leave the shop and run into Lemon and Tom. They all spend time with one another. After several days, Mash counts their coins, which are 7. Lance says the preparation for the selection exams is good. Mash tells his friend that he wants to visit his home. Order is planning to stop Mash from participating in the Divine Visionary candidate exams. He convinces Macaron to help him with his plan by informing him that Mash defeated Abel without magic. Mash goes home and his father, Regro, becomes happy to see him. Mash's other friends arrive there and Regro is surprised to know that Mash made friends. Lemon introduces herself as Mash's future wife and others give Regro different gifts. Regro says that all of Mash's friends are unique and that he never lets Mash go outside. He wishes Mash's friendship with them would last forever. Macaron and his friends go to Mash's home to harm him, but Rain stops them. At Easton Magic Academy, each dorm is overseen by a prefect. The 3 prefects boast some of the greatest talent in Easton. All of them have the skills necessary to become Divine Visionaries. A narrator tells us that a tournament was held for 13 to 15-year-olds in the middle school division a few years ago. One magic user overpowered all the other competitors single-handedly. That magic user was Margaret Macaron, who was the future prefect of the Orchid Dorm. In the present, Rain and Macaron face each other. Macaron plays piano and tells Rain why they are different from each other. They both start fighting, and on the other hand, Mash and his friends are playing a board game at Mash's home. Everyone gets troubled while playing the game except Finn, and they all act immaturely. Finn recalls Regro's words about Mash and his friends. Rain attacks Macaron, but he dodges his attack. Macaron attacks Rain with howling sounds. Macaron talks about his fear of boredom in general and his obsession with stimulation during the fight. Since Rain's meddling keeps him from engaging in an exciting fight with Mash, he considers it uninteresting. Suddenly, Mash powers up, much to Macaron's surprise. The scene shifts to Wahlberg, who is talking to Neri about marks. Neri says the number of marks increases according to someone's magic power. Mr. Wahlberg tells Neri that Easton Magic Academy has many double-liner students, but only a small number of triple-liners. If 2 lines mean magic itself recognizes their talent, then 3 lines must be chosen by God. Mr. Wahlberg says the youngest of the 3 liners is Rain. Rain's 3rd line appears, and he says to Macaron that Mash will surely reach his goal. After playing the board game, Mash tells his friends that he is going outside to get some fresh air. He reaches into the forest and decides to eat his favorite cream puff. Suddenly, he spots Rain and Macaron fighting. Macaron is thrilled and excited to know that Rain is a triple-liner student. Rain asks Macaron if he is attacking him on Order's order and also tells him that his target Mash cannot use magic. He says the people who cannot use magic feel jealous of the magic users, regret their birth, and hate society. He says non-magic users feel despair, but Mash is different from others who fight against his destiny. Macaron attacks Rain with his sound orchestra and tells him that now he is forced to cast a spell. Neri asks Mr. Wahlberg what the difference is between a 2-liner student and a liner student. Mr. Wahlberg tells him that a 3-liner student can unleash more power than a 2-liner student. They can also awaken a wand's dormant true form. Rain uses his new power and attacks Macaron and his companions again, causing them to retreat. Mash comes there and thanks Rain, but he says he is just playing with some rabbits in the forest. Rain tells Mash that the selection exams are near and he should give it his all. Macaron is carrying his allies on his shoulders, who are severely injured. He thinks he could use the spell, but he puts the safety of his allies as his priority. Finn recalls Mash telling him and showing him the coins they got from Lang. He tells him that 3 coins per person are good, but Finn is not happy with it. Everyone is preparing for his exam. Regro tells Mash that he has heard about his lack of magic from his friends and will be punished if he does not meet the Academy's requirements. Regro blames himself for this, saying that he could not give him a normal life, but Mash says he is happy. He thanks Regro, saying that he has been blessed with good friends and that he always looked out so much for him. The narrator tells us that the path to Divine Visionary is broadly divided into 3 stages. The first is coin acquisition, the second is the Divine Visionary Candidate Exam, and the third is the Divine Visionary Elect Final Exam. One must acquire 5 or more gold coins to advance to the second stage. Due to Innocent Zero's intervention, the exam has been postponed. On the day of the exam, the announcer announces that all the magic users have entered the arena. Mr. Wahlberg tells Mash that Macaron will enter this year and he might face difficulty. Mash is heading toward the battleground when he runs into Order, who is not happy with Mash's participation in the exam. He says to Mash that his existence will not be acknowledged by the world as long as he is around. Mash promises to face Order again in the future as he goes past him, making fun of him with his muscular allies. Mash enters the arena and the people start mocking him for his lack of magic. Finn understands his situation and tries to encourage and comfort him. Mash tells Finn that he wants to go home. The announcer announces the first trial of the game and tells everyone the game rules. Finn thinks the game is difficult and gives a hilarious reaction. The qualifying round of the second Divine Visionary Candidate Exam is Dettervent's Haunt. The narrator tells us how a participant can win the round, and Finn gets worried to hear this. They all have to find the key and avoid conflict with the Haunt's 3 Dettervents. The announcer tells the participants that they need to pass the round to qualify for the main exam. The match begins and all the participants are transported to the Haunt's locale and start searching for the keys. One of the participants encounters a Dettervent and tries to defeat it with his magic. The announcer tells him that Dettervents are immune to magic and that getting chopped up by their weapon will result in failure and pain. One of the participants is disqualified and sent back to the arena. Lance and other participants complain, but the announcer advises them to focus on their efforts to flee from the enemy and search for the key. Mash encounters a Dettervent and punches it, much to everyone's surprise. Suddenly, the Dettervent gets up again and the announcer tells Mash that the Dettervent can heal itself immediately, so he has to be careful. Mash starts running from the Dettervent to find the key. Another participant named Max uses his shrinking magic on Mash and he becomes small. The Dettervent cannot see Mash and goes away. Max then returns him to his normal size and Mash thanks him for his help. Max asks Mash to ally with him to pass the exam and he agrees. He suggests they should follow the Dettervent to find the key. Max believes the key should be in the Dettervent's patrol radius. He says they should follow the Dettervents to find the key and Mash agrees. They find a bladder and touch it, causing a sound to call the more Dettervents. They both flee from there to avoid elimination. They again try to break the balloon, but this also makes sounds. They tried different plans but failed to get a key. At last, they act on another plan, which is the use of Max's resizing ability and Mash's air breakdancing techniques. The air, through breakdancing, goes into the balloon, pops out, and they get the key. Lance, Dot, and other participants also succeed in securing the keys. Dot runs into Finn and offers to assist him get a key. Meanwhile, Mash offers Max the key they secured, but Max advises Mash to retain it and head for the escape. Max promises Mash that he can get another key for himself. Mash thanks Max and goes from there, and another student named Carpaccio Liu Yang attacks Max. All the participants start returning to the arena and Mash meets Dot and Finn and learns about their experiences with the Dettervent's Haunt. Liu Yang and Max return, but Liu Yang earns the 9th and final spot in the exam's following round. Liu Yang calls Max weak and steps on him, prompting Mash to intervene. A female brings Liu Yang a drink, which he sprays on Mash. Fortunately, Mash holds the liquid and creates a protein shake from it. Mash says he has yet to meet someone stronger than himself, and Liu gets angry to hear this. Before they get involved in an argument, the announcer announces the next exam, the Life Crystal. This phase consists of 3 groups, each of which must safeguard their batch of crystals from being destroyed by competing teams. If all of their crystals are broken, they will be disqualified. Finn initially displays no concern, but that changes when Mash and Dot accidentally smash their crystals. The proctor directs all of the participants to various spots on the battlefield. Finn expresses his dissatisfaction with the regulations for this phase at the end of the episode.